Hey guys, Average Bob here. In today's video, we're going to touch on the Giants' second preseason game where they beat the Bengals 25-22. I think there were some good things that happened in this game that I want to touch on. Also, some very big negatives as well. But I think, it was a good step in the right direction. Huge confidence boost for Brian Daboll going 2-0 right off the bat. So with that, let's dive into things. All right, guys, so let's dive into things here for the preseason game 2 review, where the Giants won 25-22. I think addressing the major elephant in the room has to be, Kayvon Thibodeau getting cut blocked and going down, holding his knee in a lot of pain. Obviously, we don't want to see that at all. And this was my initial reaction. My neighbors probably thought someone died or something. I was just like, Michael Scott, full effect. But on the bright side of things, it did look like he waved the card away, walked off on his own power, and was kind of joking around in the sidelines after he got out of the tent. So I think he's going to undergo some more testing today, so we'll see how that shakes out. But again, hopefully it's nothing too major because we need him to be healthy and successful. So we'll see how that transpires there. It was great to see Blake Martinez make his first appearance. Did he even get on the scorecard here? Yeah, I didn't really notice him do all too much, but it was just good to see him out there, especially after the ACL tear last year. Hopefully you get his groove back a little bit, because for the Giants to be successful defensively, it's really going to come down to him with his leadership and, just his ability to make so many tackles as his stats prove year over year. So really hoping the best for him, that he continue to have a successful and healthy preseason. Also good to see Azeez Ojulari back. I'm pretty hyped on him. Didn't like that he had to start on the PUP, but he's back now. I think he looked pretty decent. And hopefully he's healthy again. So, a lot of the defense is going to be contingent on these guys coming back, trying to be as close to 100% as possible. Jumping back up to the quarterback play tonight, Daniel Jones looked good. He stepped up in the pocket, made some good throws. And there was a third and short. He actually used his legs to make the first down, which I thought was great. Hopefully he's learned a lot from last year, especially with the mistakes, especially the physical mistakes, right? Where he's not sliding, where he's not trying to run out of bounds, and he's getting walloped and hurt, right? So hopefully the coaches kind of understand that as well and try to put him in the best position to ensure that he can maintain, a full season, which he doesn't really have a good track record of doing at this point in time. The interception was pretty brutal. Actually wasn't his fault at all, so you kind of felt bad that it does end up on the stat line. But that really came down to rookie tight end Daniel Bellinger. Daniel Jones drilled him right in the hands, and of course, Bellinger pops it up. And the safety made a great play in catching it. But again, it gives us Giants fans a little bit of, PTSD when we see things like that, from Evan Ingram for the last few years. So that's something that is avoidable. It's got to be worked on. Again, I don't want to crush Daniel Bellinger too much because it's a preseason game and he is a rookie. Just really don't want to see that happen, as the season progresses, because it kills drives. It kills momentum. The Giants were looking okay. And then, that takes a lot of wind out of the sail, and especially when you want to get a rookie tight end, up and going. And he seems like he's going to be the starter because I don't think there's anyone else who could actually play the position. We just got to get him a little bit more confidence and know that he can make those plays and just work on those drops, hopefully. Tyrod Taylor looked good again. It's not a great stat line, but who cares, right? I think he's playing with a lot of second-team offensive linemen, and Brian Daboll did say he would get some first-team reps at some point. So I don't know how that's going to transpire because I don't imagine too many guys will be playing in the Jets preseason game coming up. But I think Tyrod Taylor, he's a proven pro NFL quarterback, right? And last night you saw that, right? He has great escapability. He makes plays out of nothing. And I think I'm going to do a future video coming up about the dynamic between Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor and how that could kind of transpire as the season progresses and into next year, right? Because I'll save that for the video. Moving on to the offensive line play, I think Evan Neal looked really good from a run blocking perspective. And some of those other core interior guys were getting a lot of push off the ball, which is great to see. There was one pass play that he kind of got spun around on, but, he's just getting his legs underneath him. It's his second game, in the preseason. So hopefully he could just keep progressing in the right direction. And then after that, it was really a lot of backups, guys that hopefully we don't have to see just based unless, there's tons of injuries on the offensive line, but which there seems to be right now, especially at, guard and center. So we'll see how that, transpires. We just need guys healthy so we can kind of build some unity up front to give some confidence to Daniel Jones, the running backs. That'll just ultimately give DJ or who's ever playing quarterback the most amount of time. Moving on to the running backs, I'm not going to touch on Deshaun Corbin. I mean, he looked good. He had the one touchdown there. But this guy, Antonio Williams, he had a great game versus the Pats, and he just looks the part, right? He goes north and south. He sticks his foot in the ground, and you love to see that, right? He also did great where the Giants really lacked historically is in the pass protection. There's one play, I think it might have been like a third down, and the pocket clears, right, because they're doing the Bengals are doing a stunt where everyone goes outside and the linebacker's coming straight in. And Antonio Williams just steps in and plows the linebacker. So love to see that. Usually our running backs are getting put on their heels into the quarterback's knees. So love to see him step up and make that play. He also helped out, I think, Evan Neal one play where he chipped at the end on the edge, and it really just was so helpful. So I'm glad to see that if not Antonio Williams is doing that, maybe they're taking that more of approach in the running back locker room to say, hey, we got to help out a little bit more to give these guys some time. So love to see that. Up next is the wide receivers. I'm going to touch on Alex Bachman a little bit later, but I want to get started on Wan'Dale Robinson, the rookie. It's interesting to see how he's going to sort of fit in the mix here. He has a slot player, potential, right? And they tried to, he's kind of a wild card, right? They make him try to create space for him. They're running reverses. They're running screens with no blocking. So, and again, it's the preseason, so how much will we actually do of that during the real season when it matters? I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, everyone loves him so far in preseason camp, so it'll be interesting to see exactly, how he pans out and what kind of role he has, right, in a wide receiver crew where there are a lot of questions between Kenny Galladay. I don't want to go too off on him because – yeah, even though he kind of deserves it, but I guess we'll see what he has to offer. Sterling Shepard, again, he's just too banged up. I don't even want to say he's that old because I don't really think he is. He could still play, but his just, injury susceptibility is something that has just taken over the last few years. So that's going to provide a lot of space for, Wan'Dale Robinson, especially who the hell knows what Kadarius Toney's going to actually do. But again, that also with those three guys being pretty big question marks and also having huge injury past could open the door for a guy like Colin Johnson, right? He's really big. He's 6'6", 220. So I wonder if he'll get a chance this year in sort of a crowded wide receiver room. But I would like to see him get that chance, right? He's tall. He doesn't have an ego like some of these other guys do. And he's going to have the opportunity to make plays. So will he make the team or be a practice squad guy? I'm not really sure. I guess it'll just come down to, injuries and see how that goes. And then last but not least was Alex Bachman. How could you forget him? He's at the top of the list here. An amazing game. He made so many plays. Let's just jump into one of them.
And at the 15.
What's great about Alex Bachman is
Webb.
He sticks his foot.
Bachman! And he gives the Giants the lead again!
Got a connection. Webb to Bachman.
That's something
Webb.
I hope we can see a little bit more of.
Bachman! And he gives the Giants
The Bengals. And then let's go to his second score.
All three quarterbacks have played for the Giants tonight.
Webb,
Bachman, wide open. Bachman dives. Is he in?
That's great effort.
Yeah, touchdown, Alex Bachman.
So there's a lot
Boy, that's a great effort by Bachman there. Good job by Davis Webb. Catching him.
All three quarterbacks have played for the Giants.
Pretty good pocket.
Giants tonight.
To try and make
Webb, Bachman, wide open. Bachman dives. Is he in?
then he makes the tackle on special teams. That's a great way to make the team and show that your value in other positions besides wide receiver spot. Hopefully he's done enough to deserve that he makes a team. But, the Giants have a history of some preseason heroes just, kind of getting brushed aside, and maybe he'll be a practice squad guy. But,
Great effort.
Yeah, touchdown, Alex Bachman.
Definitely deserves enough.
Great effort.
Yeah, touchdown, Alex Bachman.
Based on the
Boy,
career
that's
himself. So it'll be interesting to see how his preseason finishes. Jumping back to Colin Johnson, though, he had a great grab that I wanted to touch on.
Second series for the
and this
starting.
is great here. Look how much time Daniel Jones has here. When you see
Second series for the
here, little bit of play action. Got this linebacker's a little bit close, and then who is this down here? Looks
Second
like,
series for the starting.
the tight end even gets a little bit
Second
of a delay
series for
and
the
a hit.
starting
so that
offense.
just creates more space, right? Like this is the pocket that the Giants need to have to be successful, right? And then obviously, he's getting beat along the edge there. But Daniel Jones does the right thing. He steps up and delivers a strike.
Jones with a clean pocket.
And if Colin Johnson
And it's
can make
caught
catches
by
like
Colin
this,
Johnson. Out at the 40-yard
how do
line.
we not, have an
Second
opportunity,
series
right?
for the
Like I
starting
mentioned
offense.
before.
40-yard line pocket.
I love
Second
this. This
series
is one of
for
my
the
favorite
starting
plays,
offense.
right? It's a 2nd and I guess 9 or 8. And it kind of, is showing
Jones with a clean
it's a run, but
pocket.
also good at the play
And
action.
it's caught.
Love to see guys actually getting downfield and making plays. And, a lot of these guys should have opportunities to do so. Last but not least, I got to touch on the F on the board right there, which was the special teams. Big kick returns let up. And, even though that it was such a big kick return it let up, the net negative there was that your kicker gets a concussion. Graham Gano, he's arguably our best player the last 2 years, and he's going down. So I don't even know what to say at this point. It's just so ridiculous. And if he has a concussion, who the hell knows what will happen there, right? And I think he's a little bit older, right? Do they even show his age in ESPN? 35, right? Yeah, so he's 2 years older than me, and if I got a concussion right now, I probably would be out for months. But yeah, let's see how he transpires and comes back. And then also, which was another net negative, was the fumble on the kickoff return. So I don't know exactly who they're planning on putting back there. Maybe you'll see, I don't know if Wan'Dale Robinson has that in his repertoire, or even Kadarius Toney. Or they might not even want to waste him, maybe getting hurt back there. So I think those guys had an audition on the kick returns, and I think they failed. Honestly, it was the worst case scenario that could have happened was our starting kicker got hurt and will probably miss a couple weeks. So, but with that, I think, this was another good week of building in some live, environment. I mean, obviously the Bengals in this game, none of these guys I don't even think will even be starting all too much, right? So definitely playing the twos there, and let's see how the rest of the preseason goes and who makes the team. Definitely going to do another video after they solidify the 55-man roster, and also I do want to touch on Daniel Jones versus Tyrod Taylor, because I think it's going to be a very interesting dynamic as the season progresses. So thank you guys for watching, and it'll be interesting to see how the Giants finish this preseason. Obviously, one last game versus the Jets. I'm sure no starters will obviously be playing in that game. But I think it's going to build on where they need to be to start the season, week 1 versus the Titans. So we'll take a look at things before the season starts as we wrap up and they solidify the final roster. So I'll do an upcoming video on that. But yeah, looking forward to see what happens in the next couple weeks, who makes the team, who doesn't, and trying to build for a better future for the Giants. Thanks guys for watching, and let me know if there's anything you guys want to see in future videos. I think I'm going to do one on Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor, the dynamic there, and how that could impact the future for the Giants moving forward just beyond this year and into the next. So let me know what you guys think, and feel free to reach out. Thanks.